ensured that no IIRN monthly lectures are missed. So last month, what we missed, he has managed to bring it in uh, two programs. This month, he has managed to bring it. And we are very fortunate to have uh, Dr. Prabha Hariharan with us, with her fantastic track record, as you could see on the screen, that she is a special exceptional children. That means she would have studied on children with disabilities and also those who are gifted. And so her spectrum is very, very broad in terms of working with children who are exceptional. And she has also been with Cry India, and she has been with SSA, with the RDM grant, and she has served as a professor at our Ramakrishna Mission Vidyalaya Research University, Research Institute in Coimbatore. And her topic is really something that we are all looking forward to know more about, how to have meaningfully children included in elementary and primary classes. Yes, there is physical inclusion happening and numbers are given that this many are included, but is it really benefiting the child? Is there equity? Is the child getting what he or she deserves to get with his exceptionality that he or she is with? And I'm looking forward to listening to Dr. Prabha Hariharan to get to know more on these lines, and I'm sure each one of you are eagerly looking forward to listening to her. So over to her, Dr. Prabha.
Thank you, Jayanti ma'am. My apologies for not able to do the webinar at the scheduled time Rajesh sir had told last month. But I'm very thankful to him and to the team for giving me the opportunity to share my views and my understanding today. Thank you so much. So shall I present my screen, sir?
Yeah, please do. And for audience, as usual, all of you will have your mics muted and the presentation will go on time, and any questions you have, you will ask after the presentation, as we normally follow this as a rule, so that there is no disturbance from outside. Yeah, the artifacts or anything, because our mics are on, it should not happen. So let us all mute our mics and listen to Prabha Madam. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Can you see my PowerPoint, sir? Can you all see my PowerPoint? Is my PowerPoint visible?
Yeah, visible.
Okay. Today, the topic for today's webinar is inclusion in elementary schools for children with delays or deficiencies in foundational literacy and numeracy skills development. So to start with, we'll just see what are these foundational skills. So when children are growing up, as they grow up, especially in the early ages, from say 3 to 8, which is the main early childhood age, they enter into the preschool and elementary schools up to classes 1 and 2. During this time, we expect the children to learn, we want the children to learn the basic literacy and the numeracy skills. Why? Because they give help them develop the lower order thinking skills in both in respect to language and in respect to mathematics. Then as they move on to the upper elementary schools, slowly they start developing higher order thinking skills, analysis, comparisons, things like that. And as they go progress more further beyond in the schooling to middle, high secondary, college, and then on, what happens is they learn different subjects. They apply all these different types of language and the numerical skills to learn and understand the contents of more deeper aspects of language, mathematics, science, and social sciences, social studies. This early part of learning the early literacy and numeracy and slowly developing these low order thinking skills are what we refer to as the FLN, or the foundational literacy and numeracy skills. And as you can see from this entire diagram, this is the basis for the all the cognitive abilities beyond upper elementary and beyond elementary school. So, what exactly are these foundational literacy and numeracy skills? List. So there are a bunch of literacy skills. These are because it's broken down. You have a list. So you have phonological awareness, that is the phonemic awareness.
Excuse me, have you moved from the titles slide already?
Oh, ma'am, it would not was not able to see the other slide.
No, it was just now I'm seeing the third slide, I think. Second one we have not seen. Only the title slide was on the screen. Is that true for everyone, or is it just me?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, second slide was not visible. I think madam did not.
It was just the title slide that was there. Second slide we have not seen also. Now we are seeing the third one, Prabhaji.
Oh, but okay, fine. Because the second one had a bunch of animations.
Maybe you want to go back? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure,
Okay.
I'll do that. How about now? Can you see a blank
yeah,
screen?
we can see the second one now.
Blank screen, no?
Yeah, second one we are able to see. Yeah.
So the animations are coming up. So I was referring to the age and the ages that are from 3 to 8 years, and the school stage. This is this visible?
No, it is just a slide. There is no movement in it.
Okay. So what I will do is I'll remove my animations and I'll just present the slide.
And there is someone in the chat box asking for going for full screen if possible.
Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'll just stop presenting this and I'll present again. Okay, I believe you can see me now, but how is this?
The same. It's not full screen again.
Now?
Yeah, it's full screen, I think. Yeah.
Can everyone see the full screen?
The title page. Now you're on the title page. Yeah.
Yes. And now I'm in the second screen where I'm showing some animations. Is this visible?
It's a blank, something is popping up gradually. Yeah.
Yes, something popping up gradually. Yeah. Yes. Is it visible?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope this is so for everyone, right? Because actually I'm not able to see.
There are some thumbs ups going on the screen, so I assume others are also okaying it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I'm not able to see the
so many thumbs up.
window.
So you're on the right track.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll just go over this slide then.
Yeah, please.
So thank you, ma'am. So this was a slide that where I was which is showing the progression of children as they enter school, actually from preschool onwards, and the fact that literacy and numeracy are learned around in the preschool to early elementary stages, and more so in the early elementary stages, they are also learning how to apply lower order thinking skills. And as they go to the upper elementary class, they learn to start developing higher order thinking skills. Further on, as they progress through the schooling, they are able to apply all these skills to learn content. So more deeper language aspects, then mathematics, science, social studies, etc. And this early part, which includes the preschool and early elementary schools, where they are learning the basic literacy and numeracy skills, and also slowly trying to develop their lower order thinking skills, is referred to as the FLN, or the foundational literacy and numeracy skills together. So I hope that slide was visible to everyone.
Yes. Now you have moved to the next one. We are able to see that. Yeah.
Okay. So here we have the list of the basic or the foundation literacy skills, what we want our children to develop. Typically, typical children and coming from the educated households and things like that, they automatically learn these. But we want everyone to be able to learn. So there is this it is listed out. So we have the phonological awareness, phonemic awareness, letter sound correspondence, which is also basically the phonological awareness. We have the alphabetic knowledge, the inference making, sight word recognition, decoding skills, vocabulary, and then time spent on reading, literacy skill, listening skills, and oral language skills. So these are all basic for literacy or reading or future reading skills, abilities. Then, as far as the numeracy skills are concerned, the basic skills are oral counting, number identification, meaning of the numbers, discrimination between the numbers, then ability to find the missing number, simple additions, simple subtractions, simple word problem solving, then patterned comparisons, geometric visualization, simple visualizations, and real life mathematics, which they can deal with, which is in their level of living, age level of living. So these are the basic foundational literacy and numeracy skills that we want our children to learn in those basic preschool to um, early elementary stages. Now, who actually needs to develop the literacy skills? One, yes, children at early childhood, which we have seen just now. Then students who are at the upper elementary, middle school, high school, higher secondary school, who missed developing these skills. There are many such students in our school systems who struggle because they don't have well developed foundational skills. And then we have the adults also who haven't developed because they haven't ever had a chance to develop them, go to school. Okay. Now, while this is the case, the best and most effective time for the development of these skills is early childhood. And the National Education Policy 2020 in India directs the preschool and elementary school years, that is from ages 3 to 8, to be focused on FLN skills for all children. Now, when we say all children, we are referring to inclusive classes. To go into them a little further, we have children from the traditional mainstream schools, and also from the generally known marginalized schools, marginalized population. And the marginalized population, a group of them are the neurodiverse students who may have the sensory impairments, the neurodiverse students and the students with sensory impairments and physical handicaps and any other form of disability. The other group of marginalized students are underprivileged due to gender, caste, social class, because of belonging to the tribes, and they lack the opportunities for regular proper schooling. The mainstream school students usually are the ones who, at least generally, is the perception is that they're average to high performing, they're emotionally diverse, but they may have slow learners, and they may have some low socio-economic class students also. So this entire gamut of students are involved in inclusive classes. And for all of them, we want foundation literacy and numeracy skills that we as a country have to do justice and actually provide the right kind of educational opportunities for our children. So now, what are the current efforts towards this? So the National Education Policy 2020 uh, has come up with an initiative, an operationalizing program called NIPUN, that is the National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy in 2021. Now, what NIPUN has uh, uh, within its plan is that it has come up with state programs for FLN. Within the state, you have district programs. Within district, we have block programs. And within the block programs, there are specific activities for schools, for the teachers, and through them for the children from age 3 to 8 years. So this is overall how the country is trying to address providing foundation literacy and numeracy skills education for the children in the different states and districts. At this juncture, we should see what are the factors that actually influence the development of FLN skills. First thing is that for children with disabilities, and this is an international study done in Canada, they found that children with disabilities majority of them were not getting ready for school. They had specific assessments for school readiness, and because it's a longitudinal study, they could trace the children up until fourth grade, grade 4, where again there was an assessment that was a foundational skills assessment. And what they found was that majority of the children with disabilities were not ready for school at kindergarten. The only two types of categories of disability children who were ready were those with deafness and hard of hearing, and those who were gifted. These children also were able to handle the foundational skills assessment at grade 4. Whereas for all other categories of children, they were unable to be ready for the kindergarten year, and they were also not able to take up the foundational skills assessment at class 4. In another study, it was found that preschool experiences were very, very critical because they influence the reading and math abilities at upper elementary levels. So the effect of the preschool experience was very good for reading skills and even higher for math skills. And on a similar vein, for numeracy specifically, high quality preschool experience was found to really benefit the numeracy abilities of the primary classes, the elementary school classes. Now the previous slide showed one of the major factors is preschool education and school readiness. Those were two factors that came out there. Now in this slide, some of the external factors that was found to be important were the household educational background, socioeconomic status of the family, the school choice, and there were child level factors such as whether the child does the homework, self-effort for homework, then absenteeism. Are they coming to school? Are they being absent? These things are all have an impact on FLN development. Further, the next factor is being able to do standardized testing for FLN, because this can help benchmarking the skills so that there is a ability to know when the children are falling back, whether they are falling back, etc. And then the next factor is policy interventions, very important because they drive how practice has to happen, what trainings can be given, etc. Then there are trainings that are important for pediatric caregivers, but because at age 3 onwards, 3, 4, 5, that it is not only the teachers, it can be certain other pediatric caregivers also who have to be aware of the educational side of the children, the problems, etc. So that it helps in school readiness for the children by the time they are 5 years old. I hope I'm not going too fast or slow. Is it okay?
Speed is perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So Now, just summarizing the factors that are influencing, that have been seen to influence the development of foundational literacy and numeracy: educational background of households, economic status, school choice, child's self-effort, absenteeism, preparation and support to the teachers, then curriculum, what exactly is taught to them, the regular monitoring through assessment, community engagement. Those were the those are the important factors that have been found to influence the development of foundational literacy and numeracy skills. Now let us see the status of this early development of reading and math and later reading and math performance. So if just to remember the very first slide after title, we have the age and we have the early foundational skill, and then later as they go on, they have to use reading and math to learn things. So at the upper primary level, reading and math performance is very important. So the status of that. Now in India, the reading level is being tested by the ASER, the Annual Survey of Education Report. And this data is the data from 2024, the most recent one. ASER typically tests all the children at a big group of population of children from standards 3, 5, and 8. But the test for everyone is the same, and the test is at reading level of class 2 text, which is a very foundational level. Okay. So in certain research papers, it is also called as the foundational learning test assessment in India. So in reading, we can see that the pattern of number of the percentage of children who can actually read a standard 2 text are these numbers. These are those numbers. Okay. Then for arithmetic, again, basic level for classes 3, 5, and 8. The basic level for 3 is tested as numerical subtraction, 5 is numerical division, and 8 also is numerical division. And you can see that the numbers are even below 50%. So what do these numbers say? As far as reading ability is concerned, they show that at class 3, only about 23%, less than quarter population is actually able to read a class 2 text. Okay, and therefore it is the beginning of a decline of a grade level reading. As we go higher at 5th and 8th grades, this percentage is slightly more, but it is still less because these are the percentage of reading a second standard text level, foundational level. So think about what is happening to their grade level reading. So it is a very worrisome percentage. And what we infer from the numerical study data of ASER, that simple addition subtraction also at grade 3, they're not able to perform the subtractions at grade 3. Then at 5 and class 7, again, even simple numerical divisions they are not able to perform. Very, very less than half the percentage of our population of children are able to perform. What this means is that once their numerical ability is going to be so poor, it is going to trigger a series of challenges. So the next level, but the syllabus has more things. The syllabus starts with algebra, it starts with higher topics in maths. And when they are not able to do those, what happens is it affects their confidence and their attitude towards math. So all of them together comes down to pull them down in their mathematical abilities and achievements and educational outcomes overall. So then there is also a effort to say that the media of instruction should be the same as home language. Like for example, in states like Tamil Nadu, the government school majority of the education is in, all the science and other chapters are all in the home language, which is a good thing. That is some benefit for that. But what about reading and skills? What was seen was at 3 to 5 classes, they are able to recognize letters better than those with another language instruction. But comprehension, stops. And comprehension is a higher order thinking ability. So this was the status. Now, what are the challenges? So we saw what is needed, then we saw what is the current level. So let us come up with the challenges. So what are the challenges? First thing is preschool experience. If it is not there, children face a high cognitive load when they enter class 1 and class 2, 3, elementary school. Second, inadequate preschool facilities in the government schools are present in our country, which actually the government schools we are interested about because they cater to the majority of the country's children. Right now, the preschool facilities are provided by the Anganwadi centers of ICDS, and slowly, preschools are being started. Well, NEP is trying to say add preschool to the elementary school. Then we have the other challenge that syllabus is the focus, not the foundation. It's the amount of time in the class, in the school day devoted to foundational learning versus syllabus is affected by this focus. Then we have a dearth of assessments and interventions. So when things with respect to inclusive classrooms, even an assessment will not help us. If we don't have the assessment, we cannot even know who is lagging behind. And when we don't know that, we won't know what to intervene, how to intervene. Now, let us just see what are the different types of assessments that are present for FLM. So one thing is assess annual survey of education report assessment tool, which provides a floor level assessment for reading and numeracy. Then you have a screening tool for reading at grade 3 specifically by reported by Jain et al. In 2022. We have the International Common Assessment for Numeracy, which is a tool for assessing numeracy skills in class 2. It can be as early as class 2. There is a test of early mathematics ability that has been brought out, the standardized test. Then there are teacher-made in-class assessments and observation tools which needs to be developed. Again, that has its own challenge if the teachers have to keep making the assessments every time. So that's another issue to be handled. Then there are some research studies within India which have come out with specific assessments. So I thought I'll bring this up here. So this was an FLN study in UP where for class 1, they had a specific assessment where the child has to read 5 sentences. And they had to solve 75% of basic addition and subtraction problems. For class 2, they had to read a 45 words per minute. They had to read a para, but 45 words per minute. And they had to solve 75% questions of 2-digit. So 2-digit addition and subtraction. And in grade 3, they had to read at 60 words per minute and solve triple digit addition and subtraction and do a double-digit multiplication. So we can see that here, compared to the assessment tool, it is at least a little bit on par with a grade level requirement. So that is one thing that has to be noted here. Then another FLN foundation of literacy and numeracy skill study in Odisha, which was done for all 4th standard students. Here, what they did was they had them read para and answer questions. So basically comprehension questions. And also they had them see picture and write about it. So it included a written and an oral test. This is for reading. For numeracy, they included addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, number system, geometry, applied concepts, so many things they include. So again, this is a grade level assessment to see how well they are doing at that particular class. The next is assessment for readiness towards inclusive FLN education. This refers to school readiness. Okay. So here we have the instruments. The first instrument is early development instrument, which was basically a test which the teacher, the kindergarten teacher, uh, she fills the form after no after after the kindergarten school year starts a couple of months, about 6 months or so, and the form the preschool starts, and the form is filled. Basically, the outcome of the form is in terms of whether a child is school ready or whether the child is school not ready. Then we have the international development and reading early learning assessment. And then we have the nursery evaluation scale from Trivandrum, an abridged version. So these are some of the tools to assess school readiness. Another tool is a school assessment tool, which is the reflection matrix, which has a checklist of and a checklist for accessibility of schools for students with disabilities. Now, this checklist for accessibility, it also comes from the Accessibility India campaign, which basically has developed such a checklist for accessibility. Then we have evaluation of families' readiness, which uses a tool under the Albuquerque Public Schools Family and Community Engagement Policy. This is to assess whether how ready the families are to send and the schools, and how that in a way is supposed to determine the child's school readiness. Okay. So now the next topic is delay. Now we'll come to delay and deficiency. So we have seen about what is important. So now delay and deficiency refers to something. So first we'll talk about delay. When do we say there's a delay? When the critical age of 3 to 6 years to learn the phonological awareness, decoding, and basic number skills is missed. That starts a delay. Why can that happen? When time is lost because maybe parents are not aware, families aren't aware of the importance of that age. Sometimes for special need, children with special needs, early identification of a special need and requiring medical attention or home care can cause the delay. Overall, if there's a delay in opportunity to learn the sounds of the letters, numbers, and decoding skills for any of the reasons, it leads to deficiency in the skill development. What are these deficiencies? These deficiencies can be in phonological awareness, that is awareness of the matching of sounds and symbols, sounds of characters and symbols of the language or numbers. Then it can be related to special needs, a specific deficiency. It can be related to delay in the exposure to the FLN specific instruction. So these can cause a deficiency. How do we identify these? So one, it can be identified by using specific tools such as early grade, sorry for the typo there, it's an early grade reading assessment, EGRA, and the assessment tools. In regional languages, the comprehension skills need to be identified. There are no tools for this, not very much available yet. Then for children with ID, researcher-made worksheets have been used in a research study to be able to identify the FLN skills of identification of letter, of vowels and consonants, and for spelling words. Then for visual impairment, children with visual impairment, an early literacy test has been made to identify their deficiency. But the study found that they are only lagging in rhyming skills compared to their sighted peers. Nevertheless, the early literacy skills can be used for children with, have been used for children with visual impairment. For children with hearing and sensory loss, also specific, for them also, assessments have been very important, and they have shown that phonological awareness phonological discrimination, and all, and non-word repetition can be assessed through battery of standardized tests. So the identification involves inability to discriminate small, in terms of numeracy skills. If they are unable to discriminate the smaller and larger quantities, that shows as a deficiency or a delay. Attentional control in math, by testing the working memory to stay focused and organized on math tasks is important. If there is delay, lag in this, there is a, it shows that there is a delay or deficiency. Then identification of to map numbers onto words or numerals and their meanings. Identification of children's ability to order the magnitude of terms, items. If they have a delay in understanding number line in class 1, and a problem with holding numbers mentally and using them, for example, like in addition, when by the time they're in class 1. These, and also they have difficulty in counting in preschool. So these are the things which we can look for that will tell us or help us identify some kind of a delay or deficiency in foundational numeracy. Now, how do we include these children? Very difficult, but not very difficult. Okay, it needs some thinking and planning. So the actions to be including all the children have to be undertaken in 3 areas: access, academics, and administration. Access means all children should have preschool education. That means the children should be ready or help to be ready, and the preschool education opportunity should be available. Both are important. Then academics. There should be a shift in focus from to a skill-based curriculum from a syllabus or content-based curriculum, and there should be a proper appropriate resources and progress monitoring. And in administration, we need a convergence of related departments. Right now, we have departments that are functioning independently, maybe little bit of interaction, but we need much more level of correlation. Now, here are some models that can be used to aid the inclusion at elementary school. So what are they? First is multi-tiered system of supports. Then we have universal design for learning, differentiated instruction, play-based learning methods. Then we have teacher training and supports. We need active involvement from families and community, and a judicious use of technology. So we'll just see some of these, specifically the models. So the multi-tiered system of support basically is something that's derived that uses the response to intervention model, which was developed in the United States through the rising from the special education system, and also from the behavioral positive behavioral interventions and supports model. So basically what this model says is that when we have our system of supports has to be maximum for all children. That's why it's called universal. And here, if we match the instruction to the student need for improving student outcomes at every stage, what happens is 80 to 90% of the students will meet the performance indicators. So at a particular stage when the assessment is done, 80 to 90% of the students are able to progress at the grade level. But there will still be about 5 to 10% who fall back. Now for them, targeted interventions will be required. They group, so small groups, or some kind of targeted interventions. And for them, for a large percent of this 5 to 10%, this will help to a great extent to improve their skills. However, there will still be about a 1 to 8% of students who will still fall back, and they will be given intensive supports, maybe one-on-one or specific technology-based interventions. It can be anything based on the need of the child. So using this kind of a model, in a timely and proactive basis will help the inclusion of all children with for the elementary schools. Now, a little bit on the universal design for learning. Universal design for learning, basically, it's a concept, it's a model which says that the brain learns. In order to learn well, there are three strategic networks inside the brain. So the first is affective network, which basically deals with the why of learning. Here, the interest, motivation, the mood, and all this stuff is important, is taken care of. The recognition network, the second one, deals with the what of learning. So here it is, it's a representation of information, like from out external world to it coming inside. So how information is represented to the child. Then the third one is called the strategic network, which is basically the how of learning. So it deals with the processes that are involved in helping a child understand, learn how the child's self works, all of that, and how the child expresses what he knows. All of that comes in the how of learning. So every child is different in the way or the strength of each of these networks. And more so, the differences are present where there are special needs. So the whole idea of universal design for learning is that if we understand that learning requires these three, addressing these three networks, we plan the teaching or the learning environment to suit any kind of variation, whatever kind of variation in each of these networks. And if we plan it in that way, we will be able to help or make sure that every child is able to learn their skills and progress in education. That is the idea of universal design for learning. The next is differentiated instruction. The differentiated instruction says that teachers should differentiate the instruction based on the content, process, product, and the learning environment. And it should be according to student characteristics like readiness, interest, and learning profile. Finally, the play-based learning methods for the children go on a continuum from child-directed to educator-directed. So basically, what is the research evidence says that the models such as MTSS have actually shown that if you employ it for a school-wide applications model, even for children with IEPs, disabilities or IEPs, they are able to improve math and reading abilities. Again, this multi-tiered system, when it is used for language, it has actually been able to improve the reading abilities of children in class 2 and 3, where tier 2 were given oral narration interventions. And systems approach was found to be very useful, where all the people involved in the school administration had some kind of a plan for them. So there were teacher professional planning, curriculum modifications, space modifications, inputs, processes, etc. And all together, it caused an improvement in reading performance at grade level. So in order to have inclusion of all children, irrespective of the delays and deficiencies in FLN, in the elementary school, we need school readiness programs. We need strengthening of research utilization process so that we can inform the policy practice for instruction, identification, intervention, periodic assessment. For incorporating systems design thinking along with MTSS models integrated with the UDL and differentiated instruction. It has to be done from preschool stage till the elementary stage minimum. We need to plan and conduct adequate training programs for all functionaries involved in the education of children till elementary minimum. And then we need judicious use of technology for instruction and for the learning purposes. So these are some of the references used in the study. Thank you very much. Hope I have gone too much over time.
Thank you, Dr. Prabha. That was a Fantastic presentation. In such a short time, you really have brought in a whole lot of information. Fact, there is already on the chat box people asking for the copy of the presentation that you have done. So,
Sure.
so beautifully you have brought, beginning with the Nipun of following the NEP, and then your asset statistics, and then you came up with the uh, higher order thinking ability versus the lower order thinking, then various tests and assessment tools for SLN Indian and otherwise, and then you talked about the school readiness testing, you talked about family readiness testing and delays and deficiencies, and then went in to talk about all of these access and academic support and administration, PBIS, RTI, UDL, DI, play-based. Oh my God, so much you have got into this shorter time, so much of information, and really useful, all backed up with studies and statistics. Fantastic presentation.
Thank
It's
you, ma'am.
open for our participants to please have your queries and clarification. Yeah. The participants, queries and clarifications, if you have any, or appreciation, your comments, please. Mercy, would you like to speak rather than putting it in the chat box so everybody listens to
Yes,
you?
ma'am. Good evening. Good evening.
Do
Sorry,
that.
I couldn't unmute myself, so I was typing away.
All right. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I just want to know, what about those standardized tests, assessments that you were talking about?
Mhm.
How do we get a copy of those? Are they available? Where can we source them?
Okay. So the standardized tests that I have talked about have all come from research papers. Okay. So that is why I have given those references. I have cited them and I have given the references also behind. So the best way to would be for you to go to that research paper, and in that they have given a much more detailed description and where it is available, and more details about it. So I mean, it was because there were so many of them. I thought it at this point, for this purpose, it was important that I was able to list them. And I'm sure there are more, but whatever I was able to come across, I was able to list them. So the best way is to go to the paper
Mhm.
and check from the paper how they have the sources are given in those research papers.
Thank you, ma'am.
Typically,
No,
they are given.
that's why I was asking Rajesh, sir, if we can get a copy of the presentation, because you
Sure.
have listed out the resources.
Yes.
Thank
Definitely.
you, sir.
And I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure I have listed out, all of this. And beyond that, if there's anything you require, you can always mail me. My mail ID is also there on the presentation.
Mhm, mhm. Thank you so much, ma'am. And it was you spoke about ages 3 to 8, but then we only have some of those ready for school assessments from grade 1 to grade 3. Anything for the foundation stage like kindergarten?
Yeah, see, actually, school readiness, from what I have understood, is little before 3, because that's when they're going to be ready for school.
Absolutely, yes. But then
So,
I didn't find anything, ma'am, there.
yeah, but I think that EDI is a little above that, because the EDI is written during kindergarten. That EDI, the early developmental instrument, is done
Mhm,
at
mhm.
kindergarten stage.
Okay.
So I think
Because
that particular study you should definitely go. I have given the reference. You can please look into that
Mhm.
particular paper.
Yes, ma'am.
The details should be there.
Yeah,
That should be
because
before is what I think.
right. Because creating baseline assessments is a little challenging when you don't have a reference checkpoint.
True. But there is one more thing here. See, the time of school beginning differs from country to country. So, for example, in India itself, the government schools only typically used to begin at first standard, right?
Yes,
It
ma'am.
is only
Yes.
now that the awareness of that age for foundation
Mm.
learning is more,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a governmental directive to start the preschool little more formally at grade 3.
Yeah. Yeah, because
So
for
that is
special needs. Sorry, ma'am. Go on. Sorry, sorry.
no. I'm just trying to say that was the story for us here. Similarly, in
Mm-hmm.
different countries, they have different starting points, or they are also going through probably the similar process. So
Correct.
I guess this is an evolving thing. We'll need
Mm-hmm.
to look around more.
Yeah, because for children, with special needs, learning needs, and academic, who are academically behind and not meeting their milestones at that particular age, or for gifted children, um, getting them ready and bringing about awareness before they can move to primary school is really crucial.
Shall we take a question from Namita now? She has put-
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, Namita.
Okay, ma'am, I would like to know about the documents through which we can read the exact NEP requirements that the school has to follow, because working in the school, it becomes very difficult for a special educator to tell them the requirements that they have to put in for the special need kids. Nowadays, as the percentage of special need kids is increasing day by day, at the time of admission, it becomes very difficult to assess them, and after admission, it becomes difficult to retain them. So, can you please guide us on that?
Uh, I think that so the Nipun Bharat has a they have a document. The Nipun document is there. So that
Okay.
kind of outlines a lot of details about how what are the strategies to be done, what are the things to be followed, many of those things. So that is, and it is available on the website. It's freely available. So that is one resource you can use.
So,
We
is
also
it compulsory?
we also have got the Nippon Inclusive is another material that has come up under the RCI's website. You get it free of cost download. This is called Cross Disability Early Intervention Handbook. So in Cross Disability Early Intervention Handbook, 0 to 3 years is called PAHEL, and 3 to 6 years is called Nippon Inclusive. So the main Nippon material has been adapted to meet the needs of children with special needs, developed by Pratham and AYJ, NIH, and RCI has published it, and our Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, DEPWD, has also released it, and it is free of cost available. Rajesh, you are using it, right, at NIEPMD2? All the early intervention centers under the government are all using this now. 0 to 6 years, we give intervention material. It's called Cross Disability Early Intervention Guidelines.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
RCA website has it. Don't, if you just go there, you'll be able to get it. Same Nippon that Dr. Prabha is mentioning is adopted to have our children's need met, called Nippon Inclusive. It also includes 0 to 3, the critical years not to miss out. It's called PAHEL. PAHEL and Nippon are two in that handbook that you have. Curriculum framework, they call it. I said handbook, but it's a curriculum framework. So that will give you beautiful one. Yeah, you will find it really useful. Right away, you can use it in your school. Yeah. Rajesh, are you there to say you're using it right?
Yes,
As
ma'am.
in-
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
all the
The
national
community
institute.
center, they are using both the curriculum, ma'am.
The PAHEL and the Nippon Inclusive.
It's been sent to all the CDEC centers
Yeah.
across India.
Yeah.
And that's a fantastic work. Madam also had contributed. Jayanti ma'am is
No,
Social
no, I
contribution.
did contribute. I was only a member in that committee, but the main work was done by the AYJ and Pratham combination. They together did it. RCI took the responsibility of dissemination. So now it is available everywhere. And it is in use, we get good feedback about it also. Yeah. Dr. Varsha Gattu played a major role in putting it all together. The special education retired person from AYJ heading the Department of Special Ed. She had a major role and Pratham had a major role too. Yeah. Yeah. Any other queries, questions? Anybody else?
Professor
I
Richard
thought
sir is there.
we saw Richard. Yeah, is Richard there?
Yes, yes, yes. Ma'am.
I just saw.
Yes, I must apologize for being late. We had a problem here due to some strange weather, but I'm here now. So I'm sorry to have missed the session, but I am here in spirit, if nothing else.
Thank you.
It was a good session, Richard, covering the requirement for, I mean, the regular education itself, how children are not able to cope with the curriculum. Only 1/3 percentage of, children do well. It started with that kind of a background and statistical, backed up with statistics. Then Dr. Prabha went on to talk about the higher order learning, the thinking ability required for the children, number of references, and also the various assessments for FLN in children, and then the family readiness assessment and everything. And finally, the children with delays and disabilities, all backed up with support. And she is sharing also the PowerPoint, and Rajesh generally also gives the whole presentation link later, so that those of us who have missed can always go back to it. And Dr.
Yeah.
Prabha has also given her email ID
Really-
so that who wants to personally contact can contact her also on this. Very briefly, this is what we went.
Very critical issue. So I look forward to seeing the PowerPoint and trying to catch up with that later. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other questions, or can we close? Thank you so much, Dr. Prabha. That was a very informative lecture from you, and lively discussions too.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Rajesh, as usual, for meticulously organizing, and it was fantastic. Yeah, it was very, very good. Thank you so much, and thank you all participants.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajesh sir.
Thank you so much, Prabha madam, for a wonderful presentation. So,
Any announcements, Rajesh, before we close?
yes, ma'am. So as we have informed earlier that we will be having 2 sessions. So today was the first session, and on 28th November, again on Friday, 7 to 8, we have another session, and we'll be having a very good, very different topic: pulsed electromagnetic field therapy and its application on children with special needs, by head of the Physiotherapy Institute, Madras Institute of Magnetobiology. And they want to present, and it will be another session on 28th Friday, 7 to 8. Till then, bye-bye from me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Richard Rose. Yeah, wait a second. 1 second. Professor
you, ma'am.
Richard Rose was in